Springfield. Thank you, Springfield, for having me. I just want to say I love Springfield. Springfield's been good to me these last few days, and it's just been amazing. And just a few hands who read my book, Sugar Water. Who read it? Thank you, thank you, thank you.
How about who's gonna read it?
Who's gonna read it? Awesome. So the book this year, just real quick about the book, it won the Benjamin Franklin Award this year, which is huge, for the Best Inspiration 2016. And the crazy thing about that is that I'm 34 years old, and 17 years ago, when I was rowing in one of the most violent high schools in the city of Chicago, they made me captain of the team. And this guy gave me this book by John Maxwell. And he said, it's called Developing the Leader Within You. And I remember looking at the book and, I seen this old white dude and I was like, oh, man, what's this? And he was like, oh, this is gonna teach you how to lead your team. And I was like, I don't know if I can do it. The guys on my team some were gang members, and these kids were sons of drug addicts, sons of prostitutes, sons of drug dealers, and I was afraid of most of them. And he said, man, read this book by John Maxwell, and it's gonna change your life. I was 17 years old. And so 17 years later, I get a call from the Benjamin Franklin Award Committee, and they said, you're a finalist for the 2016 Best Inspirational Book of the Year. And I said, oh, that's cool. And he said, you four, many, thousands applied for it, and you're in the top 4. And I said, who are the finalists? And they said, John Maxwell. Wow. So, even though it was the 30th book, for me, I feel like that was a huge, huge accomplishment. And, even to beat John Maxwell. So, that was pretty cool. Right? But this week, I know we here because of crew, and this sport changed my life. This guy came to our school one day with the idea of starting a team in the 90s. And he said, it's going to be the first all-black high school rowing team, but I want to do it in the worst school in the city of Chicago. And he came to our school. I remember walking in the lunchroom one day, and I was just so upset. A lot of us was bitter. Some of us didn't have food at home. My mother was a drug addict, and my friends, they were in gangs. And I walked in the lunchroom, and there was this quote. And this lady tapped me on the shoulders, and she said, "Hey, would you like to join the crew team?" And I was like, "Oh, what's that?" She said, "Let me show you." So there was a TV monitor. And I just seen a bunch of white dudes rowing, and I was like, no. They're gonna put us in the middle of the lake. So I set up my table, and I was like, you see that? And one guy was like, yeah, I told you they were trying to kill us black folks. and so there was 300 people in the lunchroom, and nobody signed up, not one person. So the next day, I go back in the lunchroom, and the boat was still there, and the people were still there. But this time it said, if you sign up, you get free pizza. So you see 300 names. And I was like, oh my God. So I set up the table and I told my friend, I said, listen, I was like, they still here, this is crazy. And he said, you know what, I was thinking about joining. And he said, I think you should. And I was like, okay, if you hook me up with this girl, Grace, I'll join the team. And he was like, I got you. And so later on that day, we went into the gym room. And in this gym room was a bunch of guys who I seen were part of the gang, couldn't get out of the gang, got beat up before, who live on my block, who dad was in jail, never said the word dad a day in their life, and this Jewish guy, big curly hair, came in, and just jacked up tennis shoes, rolled at the University of Pennsylvania, and he came there and he said, listen, I'm here to let you know that this sport going to give you an opportunity that I feel like a lot of sports wouldn't give you. You're going to visit not only all black colleges, but Ivy League colleges. We're going to expose you to, you're going to travel the states. You're going to do all these amazing things, but only if you do this with me. If you do this. And at that point, me and 7 other guys decided to take that step. And when we took that step, he challenged us. Every Tuesday and Thursday, you're gonna take entrepreneurship classes. For 4 years, we took entrepreneurship classes. Every weekend, some of you guys are gonna have internships. Every weekend for 4 years, since Crew came to my school, I worked at the Hilton Parma House as a chef for free for 4 years. Every Ivy League school we visited was there, and it changed our worlds, it changed our mentality. And then none of us knew how to swim. We learned how to swim, and we became a brotherhood. And all those kids that were in gangs left the gang and joined a new gang, a new crew. And and it changed our worlds. And those guys who maybe, had bad grades or never been anywhere, now I can say today that they're all successful. They all, except for one, live outside of Chicago and doing amazing things. Why? Because just like Jonathan, just like Ben, they had a vision to bring people together who were Black and Latino and white, rich and poor, Muslim and Christian together, and become a family. And that's what I like about this boathouse, is that, although it's in Springfield, you see people can come from everywhere to one place, one boathouse, and row and learn about each other. And so I wrote this book to all young people on how Crew changed my life, how the water changed my life, how higher education changed my life. And so this year alone, I spoke to maybe over thousands, 12,000 people in inner city schools about the sport of Crew, and a lot of them tried the erg machine and done new things. And Springfield invited me out for the ergata, I think like a month and a half ago. And I came here with 20 kids from the inner city.
We love having you.
And they loved it. They loved it. They really loved it. I mean, you guys were amazing. Your Crew team was awesome. They were so nice, and they was just awesome. And they learned from you guys. I was thinking, oh my God, you saw the way this guy was, doing erg and stuff like that. And that team, that school, that team of 20 people that run here, I spoke at their school 4 months ago, and they read the book. I was there just to sign books. And these guys came up to me and said, we don't have to compete. We just want to experience what you experience. And how do you say no to that? And so 4 months, I've been working with them. And then for their first outing, for most of them, first time out of town, they came here to Springfield, and they still talk about Springfield. So this is what you guys are doing, and you guys are that hope, and you guys come here as a community, and you give me your time, your talent, your treasure. I just want to let you know I appreciate it. And just one more minute about this week, we spoke to at least 1,000 kids, and I told my story, and they can tell you, man, these kids had tears in their eyes. I had a bunch of kids come up to me and say, I never said the word dad, or my mother's still a drinker. What do? I want it. Like, how do you experience that? Like, how do you get that peace on the water? How? And this was the place. This is the place I think that would provide that for them, that joy, because they are future. They are future here in Massachusetts. So thank you for investing in this place, as this place invests in others. And I think when I'm back here the next year, that great things are going to happen. We're going to have to build a new boathouse. So thank you.